UFC 297 keeps getting better. The Full Send podcast may have just leaked Michael Venom Page making his UFC debut against Kevin Holland on UFC 297. We don't know if this is 100% confirmed. There are red circles next to Kevin Holland and Michael Page's names. I don't know what the red circle exactly means, but we did see a previous leak for the Adesanya Cannonier card, and Strickland versus Pereira on that leak also had red circles. But that fight did come together, so it tells me that maybe, just like before, Kevin Holland versus Michael Page is a real fight that's going to happen in January. And we did hear Michael Page say many times already that he is interested in the UFC. He wants to come there, fight against the best, and I think there is no better place for MVP than the UFC, man. A fight with Kevin Holland is an excellent fight between two strikers. We know Kevin Holland does not want to take the fight to the ground. We know there's Wonderboy out there. We know there's Jeff Neal out there. There's a lot of strikers that will make a fight with Michael Page so interesting. And if he could accumulate a lot of great knockouts, we might get another star on our hands. Now, he is older. He's been through a lot of fights already. He fought for the belt before. He fought a couple good guys over there in Bellator. But now it's a whole different thing with the UFC, who has the best welterweights in the world. I've been following Michael Page's career ever since he made his MMA debut way back in the day, and I always wanted to see him in the UFC ever since then, many years ago. Now he's 36 years old. He's coming off one win against Goiti Yamauchi. Before that, he lost to Logan Storley, a very close fight. Logan Storley, of course, a grappler. We don't want to see Michael Page face those kind of guys. And who knows, maybe he goes up to middleweight where there's a lot more strikers at. There's many options for Michael Page after Kevin Holland. Yo, I'm so excited about this guy coming to the UFC. I can't wait to see his fight with Wonderboy finally materialize one day. But in this fight specifically with Kevin Holland, let's say it gets put together. Honestly, I think he could beat Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland's a lot more wild with what he does. He's not as sharp of a striker. They're both about the same height with the same reach. They both rely heavily on their right hands. But Michael Page is a way better kicker. He has way better movement. He's way faster. He also has one-punch knockout power. Kevin Holland has a better chin, but I think Michael Page is such a sharpshooter, he's going to catch Kevin Holland. And I don't think Michael Page is going to be as patient as he was with Douglas Lima the second time they fought, because the reason why he was so tentative against Douglas Lima is because he got knocked out by him before, right? And then that first fight, he was giving it to Douglas Lima. He was attacking him. In the second fight, he was a lot more patient. Won a decision through that. With Kevin Holland, it's a whole different dynamic. He's not coming off a knockout loss from this guy. He's not a big kicker who could take out his legs. He's not a guy who will attempt the grappling. We've seen before when Kevin Holland fought Wonderboy, he refused to grapple with Wonderboy, even though that was his path to victory. Same thing in this one. His path to victory against Michael Page is to take this guy down. But unless he is changed as a fighter, he's not going to do that. He's going to test himself against another striking specialist who comes from a traditional martial arts background, just like Wonderboy did, and try to beat them at their own game. And I don't think it happens. I don't think he beats Michael Page at his game. So I do expect Kevin Holland to eat a lot of right hands and might get put down. He might get knocked out by a clean shot for the first time in his career, as this is the guy who can do that. He's that precise and that quick. Kevin Holland doesn't have the best defense. He's outkicked. I think he's also outranged with the way that he stands. He's so straight up and tall. Whereas Michael Page is bladed and throws his punches from a balancing long range. Whereas Kevin Holland, when he throws long, he gets off balance, which leaves him open for the counter shot from Michael Page. So I definitely do like Michael Page in this matchup. I think it's a great opponent to introduce him to the UFC audience. But also, it's not an easy one, right? On paper, that is. Kevin Holland's a veteran now. He's fought some great fighters. He's a dangerous striker. It could definitely put out anybody he hits. So my early prediction for that fight, I am going to go with Michael Page, and I'm going to go by a third round TKO. The first guy to actually finish Kevin Holland with strikes in the UFC. Kind of similar to how Michael Chandler, who came from Bellator, became the first fighter to knock out Dan Hooker with headshots. Burst onto the scene and make a name for yourself.